Namaste and welcome to today's episode. I'm Shikha. I'm a holistic growth coach, an entrepreneur, a yogini, and a podcaster. And today I'm going to be talking about the significance and relevance of making a to-do list and then making it an effective to-do list. And there are going to be two types of people listening to this podcast. Those who are laughing off and thinking, is she really talking about like the simple to-do list in today's world? And those who want to know more about how to get the maximum out of their to-do list. And this podcast is for both of these kind of people. We live in a world of distractions where we constantly feel that we are short of time. And the only way to get more done in a day is by taking charge of our time and giving it the respect that it deserves. Because after all, time is the most valuable asset that we have. An effective to-do list is the most accessible and adaptable tool when it comes to time management. It is also the best way to break down your goals to the level of your day. And well, that is what I really cover in my effective to-do list sessions that I undertake as a part of my coaching. So we are all familiar with the list which we make while we go grocery shopping. Why do we make them? Because that way we make sure that we get everything and we're not forgetting anything that needs to be bought. And that's what is the basic purpose of a daily to-do list as well. But unlike grocery shopping, managing the different roles and our responsibilities is a little more complex than buying shampoo and vegetables, right? So first and foremost thing is, what should my to-do list include? Well, it should include anything beyond things like brushing your teeth, taking your shower, etc. that demands your time, and all of that should be in your to-do list. And now you'll ask me why? Well, why? Because anything that demands your time and attention is asking you to say no to something else. Because, accept it, we all have the same amount of time in hand. And a lot of us make an error at this very basic step because we tend to only put our professional task in the to-do list. But what if you have your child's school annual day? And that's an event of 4 hours. Isn't it important? And doesn't it demand your time and attention? If you don't account for this time, how will you assign the rest of your task effectively? So your effective to-do list includes your self-care routine like meditation, workout, walk, journaling. It would include your professional tasks like launching a website or a team meeting, work calls, going out for lunch with your team. And it would also include your personal responsibilities like taking your parents to doctor, a date lunch or dinner with your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, going to your child's annual functions, so on and so forth. After identification of the task, we work on understanding the nature of the task. Anything that we do either adds to our energy or depletes our energy. The tasks that we do in a day are a combination of both. The first step is to identify and categorize the task into these two groups, the tasks that add to your energy and the tasks that drain your energy. And then spread them out in a way that we are able to balance out our energy throughout the day. For example, if data entry or number crunching is something that drains you, you don't want to keep it for the beginning of the day. Keep it for somewhere in the second half of the day so that you're not depleting your energy at the beginning of the day itself. Do some deep work, something that brings you more energy at the beginning of the day. And in my coaching sessions, we do this in-depth analysis and understanding of this part of the time management module as well. Now, once you've identified the task, we come to assigning the task. And we start by assigning a certain level of significance and relevance basis their importance and urgency. So you could have the following 4 heads under which you would divide your task. Number 1, must do. And you can write this down. So if you have a pen and paper, you could grab that, or you can pause this podcast here and then grab a pen and paper and write this down. Okay, so the first one is must do. These are the urgent and the important tasks, high on priority for that particular day, like launching a program, a submission, a doctor's appointment. Then there is should do. These are typically tasks that are routine tasks, or they are significantly important but maybe not very urgent. They are important and time bound, but maybe they also deplete your energy. So we need to work with both the combination. Does it fuel the energy? Does it deplete the energy? And then taking a call from there. The third type of task can be delegated. The beauty of this head is that the more tasks you have under this head, the more time you're making for yourself, because you're actually delegating it to someone else. You're letting someone else do those tasks for you. And effective delegation is a very important part of this particular section. And effective delegation is again something that is covered deeply in my coaching sessions. And I talk about that in depth on how to effectively delegate so that you have an outcome and you have more time in hand for doing other things for yourself. The fourth category is can do. Now, these are things that are not high on urgency or importance with respect to a particular day, but doing them could put some future activities in motion, or they could take a little pressure off the future. For example, sending out an email with the project outline, booking a show ticket 2 months down the lane, or outlining a campaign, so on and so forth. And in every list that we make, there is an end step which is so crucial, and that is the step of reflection, where you look at your list with the items ticked off and those you could not do in a very, very non-judgmental way, trying to understand what went right for you in that day and what is it that you could have done better. When we pay attention to learning from our experience, we get more efficient. Going one step further in the to-do list, I also work with people that I coach to identify the best time of the day to undertake certain tasks. What kind of task needs to be put in at what time of the day, depending on how many hours do you work, depending on what time do you wake up, depending on what kind of morning routine are you looking to establish, depending on what kind of energy do you have, depending on what kind of sleep have you got, depending on what is your lifestyle, so on and so forth. There are so many factors that impact this. So you see, effective to-do list is a very, very nuanced activity. But once you understand it and you move through the process with me, it becomes a second nature. You begin to think this way. And when you make conscious choices, you change the trajectory of your life. If time management or preparing an effective to-do list or adapting to the process of an effective to-do list is something that you would like to work with me on, my email ID is mentioned below. I would love to get on a conversation with you. Much love to all of you. I wish you well-being. Namaste.